Yuck, 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 yuck. All right, in today's episode of Stupid Things that Chris has done for the sake of the vlog, we have put my gravel bike on the back of the car, we have attached the Seasucker rack, and we're going to drive at 120 k's an hour for a couple of hours to see if my bike remains on there. Sound like fun? Let's do it. Well, I certainly don't think we could have got better conditions to really test this out. Yeah, driving rain for most of this, which has been pretty interesting. So a couple of things I've learnt since the last time we did this. The first is that mounting it as close as possible to a sharp surface is your best bet, because it really comes down to how structurally integral or strong the point is that you're mounting the suction in. And obviously the closer that you mount it to an edge, the stronger it is. Like you put it like right bang smack in the middle of the bonnet, you'll get that kind of poppy uppy thing. Whereas if it's right close to the edge, it's far more structurally, you know the word I'm trying to say, right? The other thing is I really wanted to push the boundaries with this. Now, obviously I've got a 9-bike rack here. So, you know, it's not particularly like the most practical thing that I've done. But what I have done is tried to show you a really kind of out there option. As it turns out, this is probably the least recommended way of doing it, because as you kind of saw, right, it's mounted on the boot wing, which is like just a little piece that they add to the car. It's not as like structurally sound as like the bonnet or the window. And I gotta say, guys, like friggin' rock solid. Like I run the mountain bike sometimes up here on the proper 9-bike rack, but because the wheels are a lot thicker than obviously the spec that this normal road bike rack has. Up here on the 9-bike one, it does wobble around a bit. Because this comes with like a fully adjustable rear mount, that's perfectly fine. Rock solid, guys. Yeah, so there you go, 120 k's, didn't fall off. Oh, and I'm in Berry. Bike is in one piece, so that was a bit of success. Now, it is absolutely pouring at the moment, and I have been riding in it, believe it or not. Chris Miller has been riding in the rain, but contrary to what I've normally done, and that is to ride this bike or the mountain bike in wet weather, just because I don't know actually why. Well, I do know, because in Sydney it's dangerous and etc, etc. But I thought while I was down here, I'm going to ride in the rain, but I'm going to ride in the rain on rim brakes. I know, right? Rim brakes in the rain with hills. I'm crazy. I'm almost insane. But there are still a few of us out there that do this. And I wanted to share with you two things, two tips, I suppose, that are rim brake specific for riding in the hills during a lot of rain. The first thing you can't avoid with these bikes, and we all knew it, it's the reason that we ended up, or I haven't, ended up going to disc brakes in the first place was, okay, it's wet, you're raining, you're descending, you hit the brake, nothing happens. We all know it, you all know it, all right? All you disc brake people go, oh, this doesn't happen anymore. And it still happens on rim brakes, that hasn't changed. My first tip then is to just pulse the brake lever a little bit on the descent. And not the whole way down, but when you know you're about to use the brakes, just maybe 2 or 3 seconds beforehand, I just pulse it a little bit. And that way I'm not actually grabbing brake, I'm just sort of taking that little bit of water off. So then when I actually hit the brakes for my braking point in the corner, I've got a much more immediate reaction. I also find that kind of just engages me a little bit more with how much feel there is in the brakes. Again, I know, with disc brakes, you guys all love this fact that the modulation is exactly the same all the time. But I find when I do that a little bit, it just gives me a little bit more, okay, that's where my brakes are. Yep, okay, that's my braking point. Just kind of involves me a little bit more with what's happening. My second tip refers to which brakes to use, front brake, rear brake, and when to use them. And what I do, specifically when it's wet, and I'm not racing down hills, right, trying to find people, that I use my rear brake. Now I'm set up Euro style, okay? So I use my rear brake further out from the corner, So just to give myself a slower my speed coming into the corner. And then if I need to just adjust that braking or that speed as I get right to the corner before I tip into the corner, I use my front brake. So further out, I'm using the rear brake, and then as I get closer to the corner, I might tap in with the front brake. Now, I never use really both brakes at the same time. I'd ideally like to avoid that unless it's really hoofing and it's pouring with rain. So I hope you enjoyed that. I know Chris Miller giving descending tips in the rain. What is coming next? Well, I'll tell you what is coming next. Kyrie Irving is back playing. Guys, do we talk about this? No, I'm going to do it in an upcoming vlog because the whole vaccination stuff, the mandate stuff, and how it's playing in professional sports at the moment, it's really, really interesting. It's got me thinking a lot about it because we've got a lot of events coming up as well. So we've got nationals coming up, we've got Tour Down Under coming up, we've got sort of festival of cycling thing happening down in Adelaide as well, which we'll be a part of. And then there's some more racing like Melbourne to Warrnambool and that kind of thing. So guys, we'll see you super soon. I'll put some links below to the Seasucker that I've been using if anyone is particularly interested in that. I've told the guys at Seasucker to keep an eye on some of the comments here, so do put something down below if you're interested in it. And I know they're going to pay some attention to the kind of questions that you've got about it. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the videos. Peace.